Hey there, Pets Plus readers. How you doing tonight? How are you doing? Guess what? I have no tech villains tonight. I'm really excited about that. I'm here early. I'm actually early, and we have no one on with us yet because I'm 1 minute early. That's super exciting. Ooh, we have our first viewer. If you're tuning in tonight, please chat in the chat thread. Just find the little box. I've already talked to you here. Just come and say hello, and let me know who's with us tonight. We are talking tonight with the ladies of Southern Barker, and we're going to bring them on in just a little bit, but we're going to give it a minute to let some viewers come on because these shows are for you, and we want to give you guys all an opportunity to dig deeper into the brilliant minds of the stores that get featured inside the Pets Plus magazine. So please say hello. Oh my gosh, Nikki, how are you? Good to see you here tonight, all the way from Hawaii Doggy Bakery. We haven't talked in forever. I'm so glad you're tuning in tonight and checking it out. Josette's with us. Caitlin's with us. Awesome. From Bubs and Betty's. Fantastic. We've got Donna from Rough Tracks. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome tonight. I'm so glad you're here with us. If you're just tuning in, I just said that my tech villains are not here tonight. I was prepared, and we got it all going strong. So that is really, really good because tonight is going to be a really great show. So what you're here for tonight is the Pets Plus Live Cool Store Show. In each of these episodes, you get to go on a little journey with me and our other viewers to where we get to go beyond the printed pages of the magazine and actually talk to the cool store that's been featured in this issue, providing you an opportunity to talk to them and ask them questions and for us to learn even more about their feature in the magazine. So like I said, these shows are for you. They're all about you engaging with us. I'm going to ask a lot of questions, but feel free to chat in the thread and ask your own questions of our guests tonight. My name's Candace Doniolo, and I am the founder of Pet Boss Nation. And at Pet Boss Nation, we are a coaching and consulting community that helps independent businesses and independent brands see success faster than doing it alone. We do it through a variety of products and programs. And one of the things that we do is the Pet Boss Club. And we just welcomed over 60 new members into the Pet Boss Club. Many of them are actually, some of them are watching here tonight. I love seeing them in our audience and coming. And they're also, many of them, if not all of them, are Pets Plus readers, which is super exciting. You know, I'm a business coach and a former pet boutique retail owner. I've sold 2 stores, and I also own a doggy daycare in Chicago currently. And I'm a regular columnist with Pets Plus. See, Pets Plus and I, with Pet Boss Nation, we team up regularly because we believe in the independent retailer and we believe that you can thrive. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm going to be interviewing the mother-daughter duo, Leslie and Sarah Stewart of Southern Barker. It's a retail pet boutique that started in 2017. And in just a few years, they already have 10 employees, and they have now 3 locations in just a few years. That is impressive. Their locations are in Lexington and Louisville, Kentucky. Hopefully I said that right, Louisville. And I think that's just super, super impressive. For me specifically, I ended up firing my mom at store number 2. See, I had a store, and back in 2006 was when I opened my first pet boutique. And a year later, I opened another one because my mom thought it was a good idea. And then a year later, I had to open another location because of circumstances. And my mom also thought that was a good idea. And it just got totally out of control for me at that point. But I love about Leslie and Sarah is that they're finding a way to make it work. And so what I would love to do is I'm going to put a poll up there for you guys. You guys know I love polls, and this is always so interactive. So I'm going to put the poll up because I want to know if you work with a family member. I want to know, and hopefully you can see the results, but I want to know if you currently work with a family member. I want to know, yes, I love it, or yes, I hate it, or no, I wish I did, or no way, Jose. And there is another option, it looks like, on there too. And don't you guys worry, no one's going to see your result or your answers because I can't even tell who's responding to this. So it's super, super secret. So you can, we've already got some no way Jose's. I will not work with family. And that's what happened for me. Like at the time in my early years, you know, my mom and I, we didn't work well together, but we love each other and we have a great relationship. now in my new business in Pet Boss Nation, my new fiance, that's right, guys, I got engaged since the last time we saw each other here on the Pets Plus. It's been a very busy holiday season for us. So I just got engaged to Joey, and Joey helps me with Dogaholics, our doggy daycare, but he's also helping with Pet Boss Nation too. And so we're trying to find new ways to work together and have that work-life balance, right? Well, fortunately tonight, everybody who's here is going to get to learn how Leslie and Sarah do it. So, all right, cool. We've got about 45% of you say, yes, you love working with your family members. 9% say, yes, I hate it. 30%, 36% say, no way, Jose. And the rest of you say other. You're probably like, I could do it or not do it. All right, that's great. All right, so let's also, I just want to mention that if you'd like to meet Joey or myself in person or any of the Pets Plus team, we're all going to be at Global Pet Expo coming up at the end of February. Because of some of the scheduling issues that are happening with the magazine and the Cool Store for the February issue, we are not doing our Cool Store interview for February until after Global in March. So I won't see you again probably until Global Pet Expo. And I'm doing a couple talks there. One of them is how to run Facebook groups for your pet business. The other is email marketing isn't dead. Gosh, guys, it really isn't. I can't wait to dig in deeper on that one. I did that talk last year at Global, and we had over 200 people in the room. And the feedback that we got was that people just wanted more time. They wanted us to really dig into more of the meat and potatoes of it. So Global wanted to make sure I came back and did that training for you. And then I'm also talking about the 3 pillars to a thriving pet business. Pets Plus magazine also has a booth, and they're also doing a panel discussion and I think a few other things. So definitely make sure to stop by their booth. And if you want your issue of Pets Plus magazine, it's totally free. The issues that I'm going to show you right now are of the last 3 years winners of America's Coolest Store. But if you want your free issue of the magazine, all you need to do is go to petsplusmag.com and find the subscribe button and subscribe to get your free issue. I actually don't have January's issue, so I can't show it to you right now. I think there were some problems with our mail this month, but I want you to make sure that you're getting your copy. So go to petsplusmag.com to get your free copy. I also want to mention that if you want a chance to have your picture on the cover of one of these magazines here, actually, I think it's like the July, I shouldn't say. I'm not the expert in this. It's got to be the June or July issue. But I know that Pam is watching live. She'll probably be able to tell us when it's going to happen, when you could get your cover on the magazine. But if you want a chance at getting your picture on there, not only the picture, but if you want a chance to win and have the title America's Coolest Store, then you need to submit your application. And you do that online at petsplusmag.com/ACS. Okay, petsplusmag.com/ACS. I can probably put it in the chat if Pam hasn't already done it. Let me go over to the chat. Here you go. You want to go there later, not right now. If you go there later, I'm going to lose you here. We want to keep you here for tonight, but so you want to go to petsplusmag.com/ACS to put in your application. If you get your application in before March 1st, you're going to be able to get some assistance from the team there at Pets Plus and some other people about how to make your application even better for a chance to win. And then I think the final deadline is March 15th for your application to go in. Now, tonight we are talking to Leslie and Sarah Stewart, who were the Cool Store feature in the January 2020 issue. So this is our very first one of 2020. We've been doing this like 3 years now, I think. And they're from Southern Barker, and they have 3 locations, as mentioned, in Kentucky, in Louisville, and Lexington. They were founded in 2017, and they're young at their pet boutique game, but they are seasoned and successful in retail and in sales. You see, back in college, Sarah was studying marketing and used the concept of Southern Barker for a college project. And then she even completed the entire business plan, not even realizing that one day she'd be in business with her mom for their dream pet store. And then before Southern Barker, Leslie had a successful interior design blog. And those previous skills that she learned helped her when she was setting up her own website and establishing their online presence for Southern Barker. Well, welcome, Leslie and Sarah. Please go ahead and turn your cameras on and come on the show with us here tonight. Hey, how are you?
We're good.
Welcome, welcome. Okay, you heard my story where I
Yeah,
fired my mom.
yeah, we were laughing too because it's not all smooth sailing here. So
Yeah, it's definitely a lot you would think.
Yeah. Oh, I know it is. So I'm gonna put you guys bigger here on the
Okay.
screen because I want you guys to be on there. But yeah, let's just start there. Let's even I mean, I guess I mentioned the previous career of like the previous career and blogging interior design, and then you went to college and did this. But like, what was the moment when you guys decided you were like, let's do this together? Tell us the story.
Well, we've been talking about it for years. We had a dog, Charlie. He was a 14-year-old toy poodle. He was around 10 at the time that the store opened. And he was our baby. And then we decided to get a newer dog, and she's a Portuguese water dog. Her name's Lily. And she just was completely different than what we were used to with Charlie. She was super like active. She was a working dog. She needed like all types of needs, and we just couldn't find a
bigger.
yeah. She's bigger. The key thing. We couldn't find lots of products for big dogs out there, and we just felt like there was a need for a specific pet store that we just weren't finding here in our area.
We basically just created the pet store that we would want to shop at.
I love that. But what I love though too is that you say though that like there wasn't a place because you are, I would say, in the pet boutique game, you're young still, right? There were some of us that's opened back in 2004, 2005, 2006. We got through the recession. We're still hanging in there. Some people are thriving. Some people are wondering what the hell they're doing. They're like, I think we go through that on a daily basis, right? We're like, why did I sign up for retail? It's so hard. But you're young at the game, and what I love though is that you still have a town and a place where you felt like there was still an opportunity. There wasn't something like this. There wasn't something like you wanted. So let's walk through a little bit about that. Like, what is it that? Let's go back to like your business. When you're building the business plan for it, Sarah. Like, what was that process like? And what is it you say you couldn't find? I mean, I'm sure you could find pet supplies, but what does that really mean to you?
Um, Developing the business plan in school. I was a marketing major, and at the time, they were really lenient about our class projects. They would be like, just choose whatever you want to do, like you can make up a business or whatever. And at the time, that's when we were kind of going through this mindset where we would go out to different dog stores and we'd kind of be like, hey, like if we had a dog store, like we would want this here, we want more clothes for big dogs, or I wish that we could find like this really cool dog product we found online, like locally. And so I remember I like kept telling my professors, I was like, yeah, like I have a dream that I want to, make a dog store one day. And it was originally called Charlie Meets Lily, which was our dog Instagram page. Uh-huh. And it was just kind of like the whole concept of like our love for them and everything like that. But I was able to use in all of my marketing classes, I made tons of material that ended up being really helpful with starting the business. Mm-hmm. And we started Southern Barker my last semester of college. So I actually talked to one of the heads of my department, and I did a kind of like an internship with a professor, and just kind of like went all in with the business plan. It was nice.
It has that business plan. I think a lot of times, some people make business plans, and some people might write out some ideas. How has that business plan supported your success now?
It has really like start out at and where we want to venture on, and a lot of those goals have changed. When we first opened our store, I remember my business plan, I was kind of writing why we're so different from our competition here, because a lot of the other local pet stores really focus on food. And we were like, we're just going to have the fun stuff. We're just to have clothes, accessories. Like, you know, we at the time did not know that much about nutrition, so we actually didn't even sell food to begin with. And it's just
And
funny.
had no intention to do it.
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
We even said, we were like, yeah, like, we don't want to step on, like, so-and-so's toes. Like, we don't want to, you know, kind of take that over. And then, I mean, the whole reason we sold food is because customers ended up asking for it. But, yeah, it's funny how our goals have kind of changed.
Right.
That where we were just like, let's just do cute stuff. And now we're like really like diving in deep into nutrition, and we're trying to get everybody to feed raw, and it's really crazy.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that dog food and the pet food, it brings people in on a regular basis, right?
Yeah.
It brings people in. But having worked with hundreds of pet businesses, and one of the reasons I was able to sell my own boutique was because I had a lot of that higher margin stuff too, though. So I think you're being really smart on the fact that you've got a balance of both. Oftentimes I meet retailers who have way too much food and treats on that takes way too much square footage, and that just you're not making as much margin on it, and they miss that opportunity to sell the higher margin goods. So I'm really glad that you at least have that mix now in your business, because I think that will really kind of keep you thriving. Okay, so let's get back. We're going to talk more about the store, and I'm going to share pictures of the store in just a second for those of you who haven't had a chance to look at the article yet. But let's talk about how you and your working relationship, how you define your roles and responsibilities. Who does what?
I do. Sarah is all marketing, social media, all of that. I'm the behind the scenes, the buyer, displays, that kind of thing.
She does all the hard stuff. I do all the fun stuff.
She's the computer person.
She does all the hard stuff. I love it. And so, Sarah, have you found that your mother co-works like a parent, or have you found a good co-working relationship?
It's still very much like mother and daughter, like her telling me to like clean my room type of thing, like her being like, we need an Instagram post up. But yeah, she definitely gets on to me, like, and that's been like one of our struggles with hiring family and stuff is we tend to treat them more like family than how we would treat a normal employee. But yeah, I'd say we're still
kind of that mother-daughter, but I do think it's brought us closer together. And I can honestly say that Sarah's my best friend. And, but there's still moments where I'm just like, girl, I don't know what you're doing. But
I think that comes with all relationships, probably not even in, even if you're not related, you have those feelings. So Sarah, you touched on something that, this is a family affair. So Leslie, tell us more. You have a lot of other family members that help you out too with Southern Barker.
We do. So at any given time, my husband could be behind the register, my son, my oldest son actually worked for us full time for about 6 months or so. And then he kind of found his dream job, and we were kind of like, yeah, he found it.
Ew, Sarah's like, yes.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, that was tough because his younger sister was technically his boss. So that was tough. So
yeah,
it was best that he, found his dream job. So, and my daughter-in-law actually, she bakes cakes for us for our custom birthday cakes.
Great.
And then there could be a day or two you might see my grandson in here as well, because Sarah and I, we help out with babysitting. So we try to fix it to where if I'm in the store, she's babysitting and vice versa. But when people call in sick and that kind of thing, sometimes he's had to come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How old is he?
He's 2.
Okay, so I want to know, what's the funniest thing that's happened in your store with him? You've got to have a story.
He loves. Actually, just the other day, he had a little basket with him with some of his trains, and I looked and he had paint polish pens in it and some paw salve.
Yeah.
And he loves the dog socks. For
There's-
some reason, he loves the dog socks.
There's one that looks just like his dog at home, and ever since he was a baby, he would like be like, dog. And he grabs all of them off the rack. That's what he does every time he comes in, and he distributes them all over the store.
And it's really funny because one day I actually had one of my employees send me a text, and she said, by any chance, was your grandson in here today? And I was like, yeah, I stopped in for just a second. And apparently he had rearranged things. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's got an eye for merchandising already. I love I love it. Okay. So I would love to now I'm gonna share the pictures that we had for the Pets Plus article. All right. So let me go and let me see if I can zoom in even more. This is the exterior of the store. So are all of it, because now you have 3 locations, and we're going to talk about your expansion in just a bit, but are all of the stores in like a strip mall type setting?
No, actually just the Lexington store is. The 2 stores in Louisville are both in older buildings. They're both in
They're in popular shopping areas.
Destinations, I guess, but not necessarily like a strip mall or anything.
Okay. Yeah. So as I flip through these photos, for those of you who haven't seen it, first of all, I love this. I love it. It's like a total statement. You know, you're bringing in elements from, you know, I guess women's clothing even, or like being, you know, using art in a way to really showcase merchandise in a fun way. I just think that's so creative. Oftentimes clothing is just tossed in. I think even a lot of times pet stores, we just like squeeze in as much merchandise as possible without thinking about how to aesthetically display it. So as I scroll through these photos, I would love to hear more about how you developed the brand and who you worked with to help get you started.
That's all you.
Okay. Well, so we came up with the idea of Southern Barker, and we knew we wanted the concept to be just what it is, Southern. We wanted it to have that kind of warm Southern feel about it. We found a location that was just raw. It was empty. It had gravel floor. It was not finished at all. So we were lucky in the fact that we got to kind of, you know, design it from the beginning and, you know, get it exactly how we wanted it. We did hire a design firm to help us with the layout, the lighting, the wallpaper, the colors, that kind of thing. Because I'll be honest, that trying to get all of that myself was just overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it done right. I'll just be honest. We wanted it. We kind of went into it like, you know what, we're gonna, you know, that kind of thing. So.
Okay. That's great. All right. I'm seeing some of the comments here. It looks like every time I change up the screen, the audio cuts out. Good to know, guys. Thank you. Okay. All right. So yeah. So, and Trey says amazing merchandising. Yes. I mean, the store is beautiful. So there's a couple layers to this. One, I think what we're seeing is the merchandising piece of it, like how you're displaying things together and the products that you're choosing. But there's also the branding element that you were talking about, the Southern Barker, and why you went that route versus even, you know, the name of, what was it going to be originally? What was the name originally?
Charlie Meets Lily.
So, but what I love about the shift is that Southern Barker, it's much more relatable to everyone in your community, right?
Yes.
It's more people are going to draw to it. And if I think you guys, let me go back to that article. There's a toy. You've got custom toys too. That had here it is. You have branded toys that actually say Southern Barker sweet tea on it too.
A whole line of Southern Barker dog products. Those were actually, the only thing about those sweet tea is that the color is not right. We got them in and they were orange. And I was like, this is not right. It's not Orange Crush. It's sweet tea, which needs to be a little bit more brown. But the guy ended up giving me a really good deal on them because they goofed up. So, but they're good.
Yeah.
They're sweet.
And people still really like them.
Yeah, they do. And Sarah has designed all of our T-shirts. She does all of our T-shirts.
Yeah. it's funny whenever like she was texting names for the store, and one night she was just like, "What about Southern Barker?" I was like, "That's genius because like in the area we live in, you slap Southern on it, people like will buy from it. Like, it's like a thing." And anytime like one of our shirts, Wolf Y'all, was like our first shirt. Because I told her, I was like, anytime, I mean, people just buy anything that says y'all on it or Southern.
Yeah.
So it just kind of really helps get into like our customers' heads. And
we definitely try to hone in on the fact that everybody in our area is everyone's proud of being local, proud of being from Lexington. They're proud of the Wildcats, so we try to hone in on that. There's just this pride that comes with it. So we definitely try to, fit into that.
Yeah, and it's funny because the Lexington area has like their own little pride versus the Louisville area, which is how you pronounce that city.
I thought I got it right, Louisville. I got it right?
But they're rivals too. So when we did open our store in Louisville, we had a lot of difficulty because people were like, Lexington's better. Like you should have opened a second one here.
We're over in Louisville. Like they may ask me a question about the area or something. I'm like, I live in Lexington, and it's like I'm like, please don't hate me,
It's like two separate ends of the world. Yeah,
and it's really interesting because things that will sell in our Lexington store don't do on our local store, and vice versa. Which was really amazing to us when we, got into that. It was really interesting.
Yeah, in the city, it's only like they're only an hour drive apart, so I don't know if people know how far away they are. But
well, let's talk about that piece of the merchandising and the microphone and coming back doubly. I don't know if that's better.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so how you pick your merchandise for each store, how long did you leave it out before you realized that those customers weren't going to resonate with that?
It just took a little bit. It just took a little bit, 2 or 3 months. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, for instance, I'll give you an example, like our Tough Toys, Planet Dog sells great in Lexington and West Paw sells good in Louisville. And we actually put both in both stores, and then we realized, which one was better. It is all just basically trial and error.
Yeah.
On everything, to be honest.
And I'd say typically, like, we would deem a product like kind of unsuccessful in the store if it's been here for like 7 to 8 months and we just haven't been moving it.
Oh, that's really
bad. Yeah. That's because I see a difference in some products based on the time of year. Like, we'll sell more gear, poop bags, leashes, collars in the summer when people are getting out and being more active. So like right now, a lot of that's not moving as much. So yeah, that's why I kind of say like 6 months, like 7 months is when we kind of realize if it's not working.
I totally lost my train of thought. I know what I was going to say. So like seasonal and like holiday type merchandise does better in Lexington. I'll be honest, I usually stock more, Valentine's Day toys and bandanas and stuff in Lexington than I do the Louisville stores. I'll tell you this, I feel like because the Lexington store was kind of known more as a dog boutique. People know this is where they come to get the fun stuff, to get the unique stuff that they're not going to find at any of the other local stores. And we sell food, but most of our repeat customers aren't here to buy their food, really.
Yeah.
The Louisville stores are more about the food. I would say the majority of the customers, they come in, they walk straight to their food, they get it. Some of them will stop and look at the toys and things like that, but that's what they were used to because the store, the original store.
Right. So let's talk about that. You expanded by acquiring two other stores, or was it one business that had 2 stores?
It was one business that had 2 stores. Yeah.
Okay. And so let's talk about that process, because if they were already heavily food oriented, that's what their customer base was used to. But I have a ton of questions about this because oftentimes, sometimes when I work one-on-one with pet stores, they're ready to exit their business and they are looking to sell it. And I oftentimes say, well, why don't you reach out to your nearest competitor or somebody who else might be interested in acquiring it? And they're kind of like, well, but they're really nervous about it. So was that what happened in your situation where somebody approached you or you saw it in the market? How did you hear about these other stores?
We just kind of stumbled upon it, to be honest. My husband actually found it he was just looking at, I don't know, businesses for sale. And he said, there's a pet store in Louisville that has 2 locations. And at first I was kind of like, oh, that's great, whatever. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to look, it wouldn't hurt to kind of investigate. So we actually did an acquisition sale. So we bought all of her merchandise, all of her inventory, and then took over her leases. Mm-hmm. And then changed the name to Southern Burger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we had no idea what we were getting into.
There's still days where we're like, what are we thinking? Because it was hard. I'll be honest. It was hard. The Louisville stores have been 5 times as hard as opening the Lexington store from scratch.
Why? And why was that?
Well,
it was mainly because they were owned by a local lady, and they were open, 5 years?
6 years.
6 years. So all of these customers, she kind of established them, and they had personal relationships with her. And I think it was just really hard for them to see these 2 chicks from Lexington coming in. And, we did it really respectfully. We didn't immediately change the name and
we left, her name for a while and, wanted to kind of transition easy. And we kept all of the loyalty programs and, and it's funny, to this day, I still have some of her customers who expect a 10% discount, that kind of thing. So, we tried to honor all of that because we didn't want to come in and shake things up. We wanted to kind of just, smooth into it. But we've had there's been a little resistance, and I think it was kind of a loyalty thing,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would think, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think a lot of people also think that we're a chain store for some reason.
And they think because we're a chain that we're not local. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to say, we're not a chain. It's just it's just mom and daughter trying to, set it up. So
yeah, and that could be because your branding's so good too, right? They're like they've got their branding act together. I wonder if they're a chain. No, that's good. So again, even though this has been hard, doing the acquisition thing, the difference versus starting your own though is that you do have immediate customers the next day. So if you could do this again, would you keep going down the path of an acquisition model, knowing what you know now and could make some transitions easier, or would you rather start from scratch?
I think, to be honest, it would kind of depend on the market, where we're at as far as the market and how established our brand is in that area. It's been rough, honestly.
I would say no. I would say no.
She would definitely say no.
Yeah. It was really rough, and a lot of people weren't used to us, so we would get complaints. And whenever we took over, actually, the day that the employees were going to be on our payroll, we had a bunch of people quit that morning. Wow. And so we had no staff. That one of the stores was closed for a bit, and so it was just it was really hard.
That's a lot. Not only did you have those challenges, but just the challenge of that second store is a big hurdle oftentimes for people who work in their businesses. That second store is a beast. And sometimes the third store is a lot easier because you've gone through those hurdles of, not being able to be in both places full time. But to do it, did you do second and third at the exact same time? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. And the spaces needed a lot of renovation too. So that kind of, I think, took so much more time than just building out our location here. Mm-hmm. And it was just so much easier to, I would say.
Yeah, and the buildings that we lease there are old. One of them is even considered a historical building, so you can't do a lot to it. And when we went into it, her existing store, to be honest with you, was totally opposite of what ours was. So I'll just be honest. I went in and cleaned out a bunch of stuff, and I was like, this has got to go. So it was just hard. It was kind of hard, kind of like, moving out of that area and moving our stuff in. It was just,
You feel how long has this been now since you acquired them?
A year and a half.
Almost a year and a half. Yeah.
Are you in a good place right now, or are you still in transition?
I think we're in a good place now.
Yeah, we're in a lot better place.
And that's just been recently.
Yeah, it's great though. No, thank you, and I really appreciate your honesty. I really do. I really do. Yeah, because a lot of us have thought about expansion, or thought about acquiring, or have thought about selling to other people too for acquisition, and you got to make that transition as smooth as possible. So I appreciate you sharing that. Okay, so now let's get into some of the fun stuff here. We've got, you've planned a lot of really fun events, like your Yappy Hour. I love the Yappy Hour. I mean, I've heard of a Yappy Hour, but you guys do it like all the time, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's every weekday.
Monday through Friday, 4 to 6.
Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can get your Yappy Hour on at Southern Barker.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's no alcohol involved. It's all, we have a giant chew bar, so people can come in and get like all the chews and treats 30% off.
We call it our Barker Bar.
Yeah.
You call it what?
Our Barker Bar.
Barker Bar. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you find, I guess 30%, that's pretty significant. So do you find a lot of people come between 4 and 6?
Not enough to, let me put it this way. We have some regulars that do come. We have a couple that will come in and they'll buy, $50 worth of scoopable treats, and get it 30% off. But it does draw a lot of people in. But the margin is really good on what we have on our Barker Bar, that we really don't lose anything. So,
and it's a good selling point too for employees, because we're right next to a UPS store. So we get like constant random traffic all throughout the day. So if we ever have someone new come in, it's a big selling point to be like, all these treats are 30% off, and they tend to buy more. So that's been helpful.
What other type?
We have people just stumble in, between 4 and 6. They always leave.
Always take advantage. So they always take advantage of the promotion. That's great. What other types of promotions do you run? I think we've got a Barker of the Month too.
Yes. So we do that every month. I have been a little lazy on it sometimes because it's hard with we've just started doing it in Louisville too. But basically we do a Facebook competition, and I still struggle with the best way to choose a winner. We used to do the picture with the most likes will win, because people are sharing our page and we get more Facebook likes that way. But there was one lady who won 4 times in a row.
Well, 4 different dogs.
Yeah, and we started getting angry messages on Facebook. People thought it was unfair. So I just kind of changed it, and now it's just a random number generator. But it's really fun though, because most of our Barker of the Months have been regular customers, and they get. It used to be we would do a little gift card and a free bag of treats, but the past year, From actually started sponsoring the contest, so now they can get a free any size, any bag of From dog food, which has been great. It's been helping with food sales, getting people onto the food. But yeah, that's our contest. And they come in for a little photo shoot, and I just do it with my iPhone. I'll dress them up in merchandise. It's just kind of my sneaky way of getting more promotional pictures.
So real quick, just to clarify, so they take their own photo and submit it to you, and then that's the random generizer one, and then you pick that winner, and that person gets a little photo shoot with your merchandise.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And they get put on all of our social media, all that website. And In fact, one of the photos in the magazine is
Of our
one of our
Barker
Barker of the Month.
Yeah.
And that customer was ecstatic that her dog was in the magazine.
She was like, how do I get this magazine?
Yeah. Well, that's so true. You know, your Instagram is beautiful as well, right? You take very, very good photos, but that has to be planned, right? That you got to prep and plan that stuff. So I love what you just said, Sarah, about how this is an opportunity where it's scheduled. They come in, you've got, you're ready to take a ton of photos, and then you can use all those photos throughout the whole month. Right?
Yeah. I typically try to plan, like, if it's a December Barker of the Month, I'm like, let's do Christmas stuff. Let's dress them up. And it's just really great for marketing as well. People love seeing new dogs that aren't just my own dogs on our page. So,
and it's kind of interesting too, because even though it's not a Facebook competition as far as, the most likes, and it's just the number generator, they still share their dog, share the page.
Yeah.
So we still get a ton of shares on
Facebook. And our previous Barker of the Months, they a few of them have created like a little club, and they do a hashtag on Instagram called the Barker of the Month Club. And a few of them have asked me if they can reapply to win. So,
of course, let's see. I pulled up your Instagram here, so I can share it. So yeah, what I love is you're showing the different dogs and your product and very clear photos. I love this one here. The birthday Barker of the Month. See the rules. That's great. Any other promotions you guys do?
Sorry, what?
Any other promotions?
We do another promotion with our Barker Bar. We do a refill jar. And it's just like a little mason jar that we get at Walmart, and I just slap some vinyl on it. I wish I had one to show.
I might have one in the back, but I think there's a picture on Instagram of it.
But it says "Reserved for the Dog," which is our tagline, and we just wanted like a cute little treat jar that people could have in their house that doesn't just say like Southern Barker on it. But still signified us.
The Barker sticker on the top.
Yeah. But it has like a little carrying handle, and people can come in and fill up with our fill-up treats. Mm-hmm. It holds 13 ounces of treats, and the price on those are normally like $1.65 an ounce. And they can fill up the jar for $13.99.
So which is like $1.07 or something.
Yeah,
like that,
which is, and I always tell people it's like they're getting the Yappy Hour discount all the time. Mm-hmm. So they can do that too, and we've got lots of people. We cannot keep those jars in stock.
Yeah, she's making some right now. So
yeah. Oh gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so you mentioned in the article that, and in the little survey I had you fill out, that you're great with customer service. And, I hear that a lot. A lot of people always say, people shop with us and not online, or people shop with us not on big box because we've got great customer service. But what does that really mean? And how do you really give good customer service?
Well, I think it's mainly because we try to establish almost like a sort of community with our dog lovers. It's very different from any other type of retail store. Like I think everyone knows in the pet world, we just all kind of bond together. But we like to give people a personable experience when they come in. There's multiple of our customers that are friends with me on Facebook. We know each other's names. We have a saying that we tell our employees, like, never let someone leave not happy. Like, if they're unhappy, like, call us. Like,
make them happy.
Make them happy. Like, kind of just treat them like how you'd want to be treated type of thing.
And to be honest, I mean, I think for me, is I try anybody that walks through the door, I treat them as like they're my friend. And I always ask about their dogs. And as I tell our employees this, if someone comes in, you kind of tell, they're kind of like, oh, I'm just looking, that kind of thing. And leave them alone for a little bit. And when they get a little bit closer to you, ask them about their dog.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you've got that conversation going, they leave with something, because you're showing an interest in them, that kind of thing. I give customers my cell phone number. I'm like, text me if you want me to order you something. you don't have to call, just text me. You know, I send them texts, you know, all the time. And we just try to make it very just personable and like they're our friends.
Yeah, like if you had a conflict with your friend, you're gonna be like, "Get out of my store! No, you can't get a refund." Especially
we do everything we can to make people happy. I don't want, you know, I would much rather, you know, give a return on something than to get a bad, you know, Google review or Yelp review, you know, that kind of thing. We actually had an incident in our Louisville store with an employee that kind of goofed, and this lady did a bad Facebook review and said, you know, she did not recommend us and that kind of thing. So Sarah sends her a private message, and she's like, you know, and the lady removed it, and she apologized.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, that you just have to kind of take that extra step. And
I always tell her, especially if there's like someone like messages us and they had like a bad experience or something. I always tell her, I'm like, I'd just be so nice if they feel horrible that they were so mean. But I think that's, and you know, we do like, you know, in the South, there's, you know, Southern hospitality, and we really try to embrace that type of concept. And, you know, you come in and you're just going to see a friendly face, and you're going to see a friend with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. Oftentimes at my store, we'd say things like, you know, we're hosting a party. Like the store is our party event. It's our home. And every person who walks in deserves to be part of that party, right? And whether you ask them to give them, you know, you want to try something, let's get comfortable. Like we'd have customers sit on the floor with us. I'm sure that happens in your store too, trying on harnesses, and, you know, or you're pulling out chairs from back for somebody to sit down on, or you're grabbing people drink. I don't know. Like we just definitely treated our customers as well as family. And I also love that you mentioned about the no one leaving unhappy. Same thing in my business. You know, the team had to know that they knew what they were allowed to do on their own permission, right? Knew what was allowed for them to do without having to ask for a supervisor or management's okay on. And then after that point, it still got down to, you know, no one needs to leave angry. And so our question we always like to say was like, how can we make this right? Like to the customer, like let's throw it back to them and go, how I want to make this right. And then they usually are like, oh, you do? Like, you do want to help me? I'm like, yeah, we want to help you. So what do you think will work? Right. And usually they always come back with stuff that's less than you'd ever give them, you know?
Oh, yeah. We actually had an incident at Christmas where this one lady, and let me just put it like, Sarah was in tears. This lady was so just beyond. Yeah. And
she wasn't even a customer.
She wasn't even a customer. It was so, anyways. So I called her, and, you know, I just put on my little smile, and you know, and she was kind of going up me. Well, she did this, and she ignored my daughter, and blah, you know. And finally I said, ma'am, I said, we're just human. We make mistakes, and I apologize that, you know, but we're just human. And sometimes I feel like some customers, they feel like that there's no room for error. Like, you know, we cannot make mistakes, you know, that kind of thing. So like if, you know, maybe if we fail to order, you know, something specific, and it's, you know, that kind of thing. But again, just put that smile on and just kill them with kindness.
Oh yeah, if the manufacturer is ever out of answers or something, Lord, that's gonna be a hard week.
We're gonna get strung up because they're out of turkey. So
yeah,
I just placed my orders tonight, and there's still no turkey. So
oh my goodness. Well, while we wrap it up this evening, we've got a few minutes left. If anyone that's been watching has questions for Leslie and Sarah, please type them in the chat, and I'll make sure that they see them. And while we wait for those questions to come through, I want to kind of introduce something new here. And I think it's our like Pet Boss success secrets that you guys have. You know, in business, there's always hurdles and obstacles. And I love you've been very honest tonight with already the things that you've gone through. And I think that's really where true connection and opportunity for growth comes from, when we are open and share with our peers, right? And that's all who's watching tonight. So our Pet Boss success secrets for you are the obstacles that you've overcome. And you've mentioned a few of them to me previously. And I just want to dig into a little bit of those while we wait and see if we have any questions. And so one of them, let's go back to that poll that I gave earlier about whether people worked with family or not, and if they would be willing to. And it's that, you've had some challenges around just hiring and working with family, and that you've learned new ways to hire, through professional avenues of non-family members. Tell us more.
You wanna go with that?
Yeah, mainly, we do the job sites like Indeed. Sometimes we'll get really good hires from posting on Facebook and getting customers who want to be a part of it. But yeah, I've hired a friend before, and she was not great, and we just kind of learned if we've had friends approach us and be like, hey, can you give me a job? And we're just sorry, it's just not going to be best.
Yeah, you do. And excuse me. And we've also gotten some really great hires from friends of our employees, especially, and we always try to hire people that are involved with pets in some way, whether they, we've got some kids that are going to they want to be veterinarians, that kind of thing. And,
we have a girl who's in high school, and her dream is to own a pet store. So,
and she's been with us. She's in our Louisville store. She's been with us from the beginning of that. And she graduates in May. So we're already gearing her up to go full time. So,
yeah. And I think everyone in the pet industry and anyone who has a pet retail business, knows the biggest struggle is finding someone who cares about the products and someone who cares about pets, because if you don't find that, it's just a job to them. You know, it's just being a cashier. It's just
and that's another thing. I tell them, I don't want you to man the store. I want you to treat it as it's your store. You need to be proud of it. You need, it was yours. Because I do not want someone that's just going to man the store. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that comes through your Pet Boss success secret number 2, and that is training employees, and how you've had some struggle with getting a solid method down. I mean, clearly from acquiring these other stores, I bet those employees came with some bad habits that you had to fix. So walk us through your training process.
Well, in the beginning, we only had one employee, and we just kind of did 1 day of training, and we just threw everything at her, and bless her heart.
It was just us and this one little girl. And it was kind of almost that we were all learning as we went together. Mm-hmm.
With just a week of training or a few days. So we developed, you kind of developed a checklist just to kind of make sure we're covering all of our bases. But we're training a new girl. I trained her yesterday, and we just focused on the first day, just the POS system, because going slower through the training process, we found that there's less phone calls to us panicked in the middle of the day. Oh, I forgot how to do a return. I forgot how to do a gift certificate. That's definitely where we start off at. As far as nutrition training, that's something we're still kind of trying to figure out what's best.
And we actually we have a assistant manager that we've hired for the Lexington store, and she actually has a tremendous amount of experience in pet nutrition, and she's actually compiling a information training book for all the employees. So that we're hoping to get that underway as well. And the little high school girl in Louisville, Emily, she's great with the nutrition, and we always send everybody to her for that training. So it's kind of we all have our little areas of you train her in this and you train her in that, that kind of thing.
I love that, because then they have their ownership over that area of the business too, to help you. And that gets to your Pet Boss secret number 3, and that's delegating. I think that's one of the biggest challenges in small businesses, that you had to learn how to delegate tasks to other employees. And because it's hard, because we all want to do it. Well, 1, we enjoy doing a lot of things, but then 2, we feel like we're going to be the best at it or know the most about it. So
I don't know that I've mastered that just yet. My husband's never have her. I'm I just don't know if I can.
Yeah.
So I'm trying on that, but it gets to the point, with the 3 stores, that we have to, we have to delegate, we have to have, otherwise we're going to go crazy. So, but
well, we do
that's a hard thing for me. So,
yeah. We do have a question here from Susan, and she wants to know how you handle the situations when customers let their dogs pee or poop in the store, specifically on merchandise.
Oh, I just love that. Well,
usually if like they did it on the merchandise, the owners they will not say anything either because they didn't notice it,
or they don't want to say anything.
or they just didn't want to say anything. We usually kind of find those it's very common in our events. We did have one basket that was a popular pee spot that had Mississippi Paul Burrow toys.
Yeah, and we, some of the merchandise we had to just, take by for our dogs, kind of thing. We've had a we marked a spot, that kind of thing, and they would offer to pay for it. I'll be honest, I'd never really make anybody.
Right. I have a very strong opinion about it, Susan, and I'm going to agree with that. They're being very nice and beating around the bush, trying to be nice and saying that they don't really have an opinion. I strongly have an opinion about it. And my opinion is that you should not charge your customers for this merchandise. Do not make them clean and pick up their own poo and their own pee. Yeah. It's part of doing business. You guys, we all have pet stores. I had a pet store for 10 years. And dogs peed and poop all over that store sometimes, and I would never made the person feel uncomfortable about it. No, I always would say, you know what, it's part of the job. It's not the first time, and it's not the last. And yet the team knew we had we had a little basket that we could run out there and clean it all up, pull the merchandise off, and then the customer goes, oh my God, they usually feel so bad. They're like, no, I don't want to, let me do it. And we're like, no, you do it. I'll clean it. Because then the customer can keep shopping. The customer can keep looking and shopping. And then they feel so bad, usually, that you've handled the whole situation. Then they're like, I'm gonna buy some stuff now from these people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're exactly right.
Yeah. And then that thing, oftentimes, again, to some of the merchandising piece of it is that you got to get the stuff off the ground. You've got to pick it up a little bit. And so we had bought actually there were drawers from IKEA that were kind of platform big, under bed drawers almost. We built those. And so they were easy to clean off, and all extra merchandise was tucked into that. But of course there was that area, that one piece spot where they all went for. And sometimes, that merchandise, it was it might just be there almost for display, technically. And you're like, we're not selling any of it. It's just a pee post.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We use, and we learned that. I mean, that was a learning thing where you were get it off the floor. So we do a lot with crates, just the wooden crates from Michael's. So sometimes it'll just be that,
And honestly, there have been times where a dog has maybe just tinkled, they just marked a spot, it was barely even pee, and we would rush it in the back and spray it with pee stain remover, and I mean, it's good as new.
Yeah. We had rugs from Cintas too that we'd come in, because in the winter in Chicago, you guys probably don't get this kind of snow, but the snow and the salt that comes in, it's gross because we have to have these big rugs, and we'd have dogs throw up on the rugs, and you'd clean it up as you could, but then that rug would just get rolled up until the Cintas guy could come, and it's part of it. And then I was actually, Pam's chatting here from the magazine about this. We were just chatting in a private message too. I was about a similar situation in this topic. And I said, one of the worst things we had actually was a Great Dane that was massive and had the drool slobber that would come off his mouth. You always knew when Bo had been through the store, because it was at hip level, the drool stains throughout the whole place, And it's just, honestly, it's just part of doing business in this industry. Yeah. All right, cool. So, as Susan says, thank you. We try to be gracious about it, but it is frustrating sometimes. Susan, no, it is. And I can envision the employees' eyes right now too, when they're roll and they're oh, not again. Because it's always, it kind of can be those same customers. You've got, there's a few of those dogs, and I guess, what do they say in the South? Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Bless her heart, right? You just gotta, you learn in business, you let some things bother you, and let some things, you just gotta let it go.
Yeah. You're right.
There definitely are times where I want to be you have to pay for that, but I'm
yeah.
Oh, it's fine.
But the thing is, too, if you made that customer pay for that, chances are they're not coming back.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
the same thing with a kid in a store.
yeah. And I mean, again, I'd rather lose that $10 plush
Mhm.
toy than to lose a customer. So
Yeah. All right, cool. So you guys have a couple like resources or things you wanted to share that have been inspirations to you guys, right? So I don't know if you remember what you shared with me, but I can remind you if you don't remember.
Yeah. So I shared. She's a girl called Hillary Rushford, and she specializes in social media marketing. And I actually took her like online class. It's kind of weird if you went to her Instagram. She's a fashion like lifestyle blogger, but she is very smart, knows all these like tips and tricks about Instagram, like how to use hashtags to get more followers. And it's amazing. Like she knew I was taking the class, and one night she texted me. She's like, "What are you doing? We just got like 50 new followers."
Oh, wow.
And different things like that. So she's one of my favorites just because it's my section of the business.
Yeah.
And it's not pet related, but it's still important, especially like social media. And then the second one was Dr. Karen Becker, which I always say is the Beyonce of the pet world.
I've not heard that one. We'll have to make sure to share that with her.
Oh yeah, we met her in a elevator at the Pets Plus Wellness Expo. Wasn't that one?
Yeah, one of them.
And she walked on, and we were like,
we were like the fangirl moment.
But yeah, we love following her because she's just got some amazing information on her pages. It just kind of keeps us up to date with like different issues in the pet world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great. So she's from the Chicagoland area, and so we lucked out with my stores here. Our distributor, Middle West here, would have their local distributor shows, and they would bring her in to do talks all the time. And I got to sit at lunch with her once. This is in the early years, before. I mean, she was still a big name, but that was a lot of fun. And my team that got to sit with her too, they really enjoyed that moment. She's such a wonderful lady.
Mm-hmm. And we love Billy for answers.
Oh Lord.
We love answers, and we love Billy. We had a fangirl moment with Billy too. So.
I feel so bad for him because every time we see him talk, we're like standing in the corner, like, oh my God.
That's awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing so much with us tonight. It's been wonderful having you on. And for anyone that's watching the replay or that didn't get their questions answered, you can always type it in the chat, or this will be loaded to Facebook later, and you can watch the replay and put your comments in, and we'll make sure to get your questions answered. And for everyone else who wants to join us for our next Cool Store interview, it's going to be on March 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's with Johanna of Fetch in Rhode Island. So that's on March 10th at 7 p.m. And other than that, I just hope that we see you guys all at Global. Sarah and Leslie, are you going to be at Global Pet Expo?
Yes.
Fantastic. So I hope to see you at a couple of our talks. I've got a few talks I'm doing, and Pets Plus has some panels and a booth there. And so we look forward to meeting you guys, those watching, and you too. I love seeing you there too. And so I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight on our Pets Plus Cool Store interview. If you haven't applied, make sure you go to petsplusmag.com/ACS so that you potentially can get your picture on the cover of a magazine to win America's Coolest Store. And guys, everyone watching, I just am so glad you tuned in tonight because I truly believe that we are stronger together. I firmly believe at Pet Boss Nation in community over competition. And I just thank everyone watching and Leslie and Sarah for coming tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.